Toni Storm is one of the brightest young stars outside of WWE right now. So let's cut straight to the case, and here are 10 facts about the timeless one. Number 10. A young start. There is no set age for when wrestlers need to get started in the professional wrestling business, but few start as early as Toni Storm. She might only be 28 right now, but she can already consider herself to be a veteran due to how many years she has put into the business. Storm originally began her career at the age of 13, which is far sooner than most people. She started her journey at an Australian affiliate of Impact Pro Wrestling and competed in her first match as Storm in October 2009. Because people are still developing at that age, a lot of performers start competing much later, but it explains why Storm is as gifted as she is. Number 9. Training in Liverpool. Because Toni Storm is from New Zealand, most people would presume that is where she grew up and trained. And while she did spend many years there, it was England where Toni spent the majority of her time learning to be a professional wrestler. She went to England to take her career to the next level, and it was Dean Allmark who took her under his wing to help develop her skills. Toni lived in Liverpool and spent the time working around the various independent promotions to help her craft. Number 8. Making history and progress. The United Kingdom has been a crucial part of Toni Storm's career as she truly made her name on the British independent scene, putting together some brilliant matches across a variety of promotions. One that she worked for a lot was Progress Wrestling, which has often been considered a top place to work. While Progress helped her grow as a talent, she also helped Progress establish its women's division. She was able to win the first ever Progress Wrestling Women's Championship, showcasing the star power that she has and the fact that she was able to carry an actual division. Number 7. Mae Young Classic winner. Another big accomplishment that Toni Storm has been able to achieve in her career was winning the Mae Young Classic. This took place very early in her WWE career and was a clear sign that she was someone fans should keep an eye out for in the future. Her performances throughout both tournaments were brilliant to see, which is something that proved her quality. In the 2017 tournament, she got to the semi-final, but then the year after she was able to win it. But that major step forward in her career almost didn't happen. That's because Tegan Nox seemed to be poised from the start to go all the way. However, an untimely injury cost Nox that opportunity in the quarterfinals, leaving Storm as the next best choice to come out on top in the end. Furthermore, Storm almost didn't make it to the finals due to suffering an injury of her own during an NXT UK TV taping in late August. Funny how things work out in the end. Number 6. Former NXT UK Women's Champion. Those fans who only saw Toni Storm on WWE's main roster might not be as aware of her success as others, but the fact is that WWE did push Storm during her time in the company. One of her best runs took place in NXT UK, where Storm was made to be one of the biggest stars on the roster. She captured the NXT UK Championship, enjoying a great run on the brand where she was able to become a major player. Storm got the fans on her side during this period and put together some brilliant matches. She competed in the first ever women's cage match in the United Kingdom. Toni Storm has held many impressive distinctions throughout her career, but one of her most notable is that she competed in the United Kingdom's first ever women's steel cage match. Long before they both competed under the bright lights of WWE as part of the 2018 Mae Young Classic, Storm and Tegan Nox, then Nixon Newell, waged war throughout the country for a variety of promotions between 2014 and 2016. Their heated rivalry reached new heights when they, along with UK women's wrestling standout Erin Knight, collided in a three-way women's steel cage match in the main event of a British Empire Wrestling show in March 2015. Newell emerged victorious, as she almost always did against Storm, but it was an incredible history-making moment nonetheless. For these three women to be the first to step inside the steel cage on British soil is an outstanding accomplishment no one can ever take away from them. She competed in the first female Progress main event. After taking part in the first ever women's steel cage match in UK history, Toni Storm made more history by competing in the first women's main event for Progress in May 2017. It was only her 8th match with the promotion after debuting there in early 2016. At that time, she wrestled many matches against her arch-rival Ginny, so it only made sense that Ginny was involved in the first female Progress main event with Storm. Joining them was Laura Di Matteo, who also wanted to walk out as the inaugural Progress Women's Champion. All three played an instrumental role in building up the company's burgeoning women's division, And to no one's surprise, they delivered an excellent main event for Progress Chapter 49, Super Strong Style Night 2. Although Ginny was the ultimate heel at that point, Storm made the most sense to capture the championship, being the biggest and brightest female star on the Progress roster. There was no capping her potential. Married to Juice Robinson. Relationships in wrestling between people in the business are something that has become increasingly more common in recent years, and Toni Storm is involved in that rising number. She is married to New Japan Pro Wrestling's Juice Robinson, who she got to know during the pandemic. But before tying the knot with Juice, Toni was engaged with another fellow wrestler. Back in 2017, Toni and the Strong Boy, Tyler Bate, were engaged. Unfortunately, though, things reportedly didn't end well between the two, causing the engagement to be called off. 2. Alternative career. Like many of us, Storm was hooked on wrestling as soon as she was introduced to it at the age of 10. Superstars such as John Cena, Shawn Michaels, Jeff Hardy, Lita, and Mickie James inspired her to break into the business. She's admitted in interviews that she never had any desire to do anything else except wrestle, but that didn't stop her from pursuing an education in case the wrestling thing fell through. So Toni at one point enrolled in a university studying nutritional medicine. Her passion for wrestling was too much though, and she dropped everything and committed fully to wrestling. Bonus fact, her mom sold hot dogs so she could wrestle. Toni Storm's road to WWE wasn't an easy one in the slightest. Despite not understanding the appeal of professional wrestling, Storm's mother was wildly supportive of her daughter's dreams. Her family wasn't well off, and thus they had to find other ways of paying for her training. Storm started in a super small company, and at the shows her mom made money selling hot dogs. The inaugural NXT UK Women's Champion told Lillian Garcia during a podcast interview that her mom giving up any free time she had to appear at her shows and work the concession stand is something she'll forever be indebted to her for. More importantly, Storm's mom wanted to see Toni happy, and wrestling was the only thing that made her happy. She wasn't obliged to help out her daughter, but rather she chose to because she wanted to be as successful as she had the potential to be. Mama Storm, not to be mistaken with Tim Storm's mother, is a godsend for that alone. We too have her to thank. 1. Mental health struggles. Wrestlers are real people just like everybody else, but because they're shown as heroes and athletes on television and PPV, that doesn't mean that they can't have struggles like other people. Toni Storm has been open and honest about the fact she has dealt with mental health issues. In an interview with Lillian Garcia on her Chasing Glory podcast, Toni Storm addressed the explicit photos that were leaked without her consent and discussed how she shut down as a result, revealing that she's been battling depression and anxiety since she was 16. Storm called it one of the worst things she's ever experienced, but also noted how her depression was already hitting her hard following her grandfather's passing and family issues growing up. Thanks to her amazing circle of support that includes her friends and fans, however, she has been able to cope with her depression and anxiety to the best of her ability. Sharing that made Toni more relatable, and let's all remember that we are dealing with fellow human beings before we say or do something stupid and bad. That were 10 facts about Toni Storm. Which of them you didn't know? Comment below and click that subscribe button for more facts. Peace.